okay, that's crazy. Your underlying energy, though, is a Two of Wands, Two of Swords. Underneath that is the High Priestess. Very interesting. These cards are slipping inside, and it's pissing me off because I mean, I had it in a way that it was nice, and now it's like jacked up a little bit. Whatever. All right. So this is about making decisions, or it's about making a decision, or really, the choices that you make here is obviously predetermined. You just have to kind of make the decision happen instead of keeping the balance, right? To me, it's more of the execution of the decision rather than trying to figure it out. And I think the reason why you haven't come to an exact conclusion of what's going on is because you haven't seen what's going on. You're not seeing it. The situation is very, you know, arms crossed, not seeing what you guys are dealing with. Because if you do see what's going on, you know that the choice would be very clear, right? It's like there would hardly be any hesitation when it comes to making that decision. And I know it's very Two of Wandsy of how I'm reading that, but that's just it. Swords and Wands are one of the fastest energies in the tarot. One of the fastest, they're both pretty fast. And I see this as like if she's seen what was going on, she knows exactly what she would do, But it's about walking the truth. Like you have that truth, but it's like using that truth now by making the hard choices, right? Making the hard decision. And I feel like the High Priestess, it may be something that obviously you do know the answer to this, to the whatever options that come up. You know the answer to it. It's not like, oh, okay, I got to figure it out. The High Priestess knows everything. She knows things. She's very intuitive, but she's very much the all-knowing. So, whatever you guys are doing here with this Two of Swords energy, you're trying to keep the balance because it's some sort of difficult situation that you're not ready to break free from yet. Well, not necessarily break free from. It's a difficult situation that you're not ready to kind of, decide on something. That's definitely crucial. That's keeping things from moving on. But at some point, you have to drop those swords. They can't stay up like that forever. Now, for the heart of your reading, you guys have the Ten of Wands. See? You guys have a burden on your backs. You guys are doing a lot of stuff in your relationships, in your life. You guys have a lot going on. Now, this doesn't have to be. It isn't. When I see the Ten of Wands, I go, damn. But like I said, with every card here, it's not a bad thing. The only really kind of card that you can have is the Ten of Swords. Really, there's a couple others, but the Ten of Swords is the one I can think of at the moment. The Ten of Wands, though, it's not the easiest card to have easiest card to have, period. But I do feel like you guys have a lot on your plate, more than you can really handle on your own. You're handling it. You can obviously handle it on your own, but should you? That's a different story. And I always look for temperance when I see this, and I'm like, So you guys may be taking on a little too doggone much right now, and I feel like in turn of you guys taking too much, you guys don't feel very supported, very stable. There could be someone around you right now that, as a matter of fact, that's very focused on their career, focusing on money, focusing on other things, material goods, everything like that, and they haven't been providing you with the stability that you feel like you need. You guys may have been stepping up to be that provider by taking on way too much, and that could have, possibly messed up the dynamic of the relationship because you had to take on too much. Now, in the past, you had the Hermit that's coming up here, and the Hermit can indicate that there has been some, some distancing, some time away, some retreating within the self, but you're trying to find answers within you. For some of you guys, it has a lot to do with finding your confidence or healing from old pains, taking care of yourself, but mostly finding the answers that you can only answer within yourself, right? It's like, I do feel like you had to kind of go within to kind of get some sort of clarity of who you are now based off of the things you've already experienced. And that kind of discovery definitely leads to the Five of Wands in a very interesting way. Right? I feel like obviously you know who you are now from that Hermit energy, but it's about taking action on that. It's difficult. And you may have a lot of conflicting individuals around you, or a person perhaps even, that thinks or expects you to perform the old way when you know that you're not that person that can do the old way. You're the person that has a new way of doing things or moving forward or operating. Some of you guys, it may be your own inner turmoil. You know, you don't want to disappoint anybody. You don't want to make anybody feel as though they can't trust you or you can't be relied upon. But that's the thing. If you're going through a change right now, no, you can't be relied on because you're dealing with yourself. You focus on yourself. You have to take care of you, and that's okay. And that's it's not putting other people first before yourself. That's when we get into trouble, people. That's where really we get into trouble, because we are not in any position to take care of anybody until we take care of ourselves. That's why the Empress is in your external energy like this. She's like, hey, well, I'm pregnant. I can't really pick the baby up right now. That's about 7 years old. I can't no longer do that. I can no longer dress my little girl anymore. She can dress herself. I'm pregnant. I don't think I should be, fucking outside mowing the lawn. She could do that shit, but should she? I don't think so. Because it's not about being pregnant. It's about knowing that you knowing what you should and shouldn't be doing. What you can and can't. Like, it's not about independence, because we all know the Empress can do anything she wants to do. But it's not about that. It's about like the dynamic of our lives, right? We have to make sure that we are taken care of first. The Empress, if she just let any old body come in because she wanted to take care of them, her place would be a mess right now. Just imagine, she didn't want to burden anybody with cleaning or doing some things, right? Like, if she didn't maintain herself, if she didn't keep, maintain her composure, think about it. She'd be passing out all over the place. She'd probably get sick easier because she's not paying attention to herself. And I think that's the thing, y'all. I think for a lot of you guys, the Two of Swords situation is this. You know who you are now. And the thing is that the conflict that you're facing right now is that there's a lot of people that are expecting you to take care of them, and you're not doing that no more. You're not. And I feel like you're feeling the pressure of it. You're feeling the pressure of people trying to get you back, trying to push you back to being codependent, trying to push you into being something that you can't really identify with anymore. That person that's always there to help. And you are willing to help. That's the difference. Like, you are willing to help people. You are willing to, lend a helping hand and be there for people. But you're not willing to do that at your own expense when you can't do it. And I feel like that's not necessarily a people thing. It's more of yourself thing and what you think people expect from you. So yeah, you're carrying a burden that's no longer something that you can resonate with, I feel, because you're changing. You go from the 10 to 5. You're changing what it is that you're willing to carry, what burdens you're willing to carry. You went all the way back down to 5. You're changing what truly, you can truly what you can identify with. Hopefully that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You're not that person anymore that's going to sacrifice everything for other people. You're going to save a little piece of something for yourself. And that's good, right? You got to take care of you. If you are not a powerhouse, if you're not a safe space for yourself, how can you be for someone else? And I think that's the thing. I feel like that's the thing. Because there may be people around you that are close to you, and it's hard to say no to some people. And that's the challenge, right? Saying no. Because that's what the Two of Swords, in my opinion, is coming up as. You know your truth. You know what your answer is going to be the second you see it. But that's why you're closing your eyes. You're just ignoring it. You're like, okay, I'm just going to wait till this happens. I'm just going to wait till this happens. No. There's no better time like the present. The more you procrastinate, the more you wait on it, the more you keep the balance, the more you stay in the dark, the less and less and less you become, the less and less you realize, you get anything done, you accomplish certain things that you want to do, and the more you become disassociated with the situation in yourself. You start to lose yourself. And I've done that before. I've waited for things like, okay, well, I'll just, when it happens again, okay, well, it happened again, so I would just, no. Unfortunately, you may have to just say, you know what, this is where I stand. I can't do this thing anymore. I can't stay in this situation like this. And you have the Devil card coming out in your future, and that to me is overcoming a lot of the things that we've, constructed in our minds. right? Which is a lot of the illusion of we have to do this, we have to do that, or there's certain behaviors that we, that feel comfortable to us because we know that, hey, we get, we know the outcome of doing a certain outcome, of doing a certain action, rather. We know the outcome of doing something that we know happens. Being codependent is easy. Being the helping hand and letting other people walk all over us, that's easy. But to say, fuck you, I gotta take care of myself. And you may not feel that way. You may be like, look, man, I love you very much. I'm going through a really difficult time right now. I can't really do that. I can't put myself out in the cold and let you be, and you get something out of it, because I can't do that, right? I can't let myself go that far. You're building a sense of self-worth here. You're building your self-confidence. You can't let people do that to you, right? So I feel like it's easier to go back to this devil energy. And I feel like that's why, right? You're looking at this devil energy like, shit, maybe I should just go back. Maybe I should just go back. And it's like, I feel like, Cancer, don't do that. Don't, if you feel like you need to go back to it. But that's because there's something else that you need to understand from this dynamic. Because you're not going to leave here until you learn what you need to learn. You need to find your power with this devil energy. But I feel like when you move into this, you will find your power. Why will you find your power? Because the devil always lets us know is that, hey, you can leave at any time. That chain is just to let you know you're in here. The chain is a reminder to let you know you're in here. But it's to be aware of also your behaviors. Your actions have consequences to them. That chain is a reflection of that. And I feel like you look at that devil and you say, yeah, you're right. And you just know who you are. You know what you can do and what you won't do, and what is and what isn't, right? What's real and what isn't real. The people that will hate you if you don't do certain things. If they hate you, they hate you. Because, hey, at the end of the day, you gotta live with you. And that's okay, right? It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what the outcome will be for the other person in that dynamic of that relationship. If you are not taking care of yourself, then that's it. For some of you guys, you may be struggling with getting, having children, bearing children. I don't see that to be a problem too much in the future. Mainly because of the star that's coming up in your outcome here. But I really feel like this is talking about stepping into your own self. Being, taking care of you over taking care of everyone else. Because the conflict here has a lot to do with Empress, the caretaker. But it also has a lot to do with the manifestations as well. Now, King of Pentacles, he's a manifestor too. And I feel like for some of you guys, if it's not having to do with taking care of anybody, it's about what it is that you're trying to manifest. Is it even, are you changing what you want? And if that's the case, you're allowed to. Start saying that in your outcome that, there is a restart. There's a reset. You know what I mean? But the devil is throwing me because it's like, if this is about manifestation, what habits do you feel like that you're afraid of slipping back into? Either way, whatever habits you find you slipping back into, you can overpower them. The devil is always the card is always the solution as well as the warning. Okay? Right? You find out, you overcome the addictions and the struggles by knowing that you have them in the first place. By being aware. You can get lost in the devil because you're, influenced by different things. You're influenced, but it's not the other things that influence you. It's you that is what you're looking for in there that influences you. Like if you go in there with, I am not being taken care of, so you do certain things that may not be beneficial for you in the long run, but they help kind of give you that sense of relief in that moment, or whatever, based on whatever it is that you're looking for. Then yeah, like for instance, I'm going to use eating, for example. People, eating disorders, right? People feel empty, so they eat. I mean, I used to be that way. So, and now I have problems with eating because I'm like, I don't want, I don't feel like I deserve it. But that's me overcoming a lot of my own devil situations. But we have to recognize why we are feeling this devil energy, so we can overcome that stuff. So we can separate ourselves from the chain and the the reality of things is that whatever the addiction is to fill a void, right? Is to fill a void. And for some of us, that thing is, we could be feeling a void here. We could be attempting to, but that void can't really truly be filled until we find ourselves, until we fill it within ourselves, not look for external means like the devil's suggesting. Because they're short-term ways, but they're not long-term ones. Now your goal and ambition is the Knight of Cups. So for some of you guys, you could be seeing a Pisces, or you could be seeing another Cancer or Scorpio. But I feel like your goal is to kind of have an idea of what it is that you want, to focus on what you want, focus on your emotions and how you feel, focus on your dreams, focus on your relationships, your ideal lover, rather, if you guys are not in a polygamous relationship. But I feel like this is truly connecting to who you are, connecting to your emotions, being aware of how you feel. And how you do that is by putting your emotions on the highest pedestal possible, making sure that your emotions are being considered as always. The Nine Wands doesn't do anything but consider his own emotions, which that can get his ass into trouble, because he's not leading the steed. He's not leading this horse in a direction that's safe. He could be walking into something dangerous, but because he's so focused on what he wants, on what he feels. But the point of it is that I get it. You guys want to feel. You want to not necessarily feel, but you want to focus on you. You want to focus on your dreams. And it's okay if it changes, because this is a knight, right? Mutable energy. If it changes, it changes. But you have to accept that change. If the old wish isn't going to work, if the old wish is no longer what you want, that's okay. It's going to take time to build this, though. The Empress is, she grows wheat. She's in a utopia. It's where everything's fertile and green and all that. But the wheat is ready to be harvested. It takes time to grow wheat, by the way. So it's about the process. It's going to be manifestation. You're going to manifest stuff. But I feel there's conflict in regarding whatever you're trying to manifest. And it's because it's going to take time. And you're maybe changing some things because, you're changing a certain goal post at the moment. And that's not a bad thing. But, hey, it's going to take time to manifest. So you may as well make the decision so you can start now. Now, the star is coming up in your outcome. That's another manifestation card that comes up. The wish card here. Not really wish card, but some manifestation because, you give back. It's very similar to the Empress in my opinion, but you give back. You're putting in something towards your dream, towards your wish, towards that star. And with the Knight of Cups and the star coming up, it's like, yes, dream, be invested in what it is that you want. But the work will come. And do that work, right? You're going to heal through that too. Because I think the conflict is this, right? I think for this situation is that that this is this situation now is a burden, or whatever it is that you're dealing with the burden. Could be this person that you're committed to, this relationship that you're in a commitment with. This person that you're in a commitment with. Or the fact of finances, right? You could be dealing with financial issues, and it's a burden for you now. And it may be that you have to kind of, you're not feeling the approach that you're doing now, because it's a burden, because either you have too much on your plate, or it's just not really, it's just too much now. It's become work rather than something enjoyable. And you may be changing that, but it's going to take time to cultivate that change. It's something worth doing. It's going to take time to. And I feel like ultimately that when you make the decision, or you make whatever you settle with, you have to face the darkness a little bit. But when you face it and you work on it, you're healing it too. You're getting closer. You're doing two things at the same time. You're killing two birds with one stone. You're not only working towards your dream, but you're also healing yourself from the devil energy, from the addictions that you have.